Today is a very exciting day because I'm actually going on my first ever road trip here in China because someone just got their driver's license. Was it hard?
Easy.
Yeah?
Very easy.
Okay.
If you study a lot, it will be done in 10 minutes.
We're driving where?
We're driving to Chiangmai.
Chiangmai Mountain, Chiangmai Shan.
So Chiangmai Shan is a famous mountain here in Jilin province, situated right on the border of North Korea. It's actually a dormant volcano, which has resulted in a pool of water collecting at the very top of the mountain. We were so excited about Deok getting his license just a few days ago, so we decided at the very last minute to rent a car for the weekend.
How are you feeling about driving in China?
Feeling good, very excited, but also a little bit nervous, I have to say.
I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous. I haven't gotten my driver's license all these years because it's a very different driving environment to Australia.
So for one, here in China, they drive on the other side of the road than what I'm used to in Australia. Also, the Changchun driving style is a bit more on the aggressive side. We experienced that mostly when driving on the many roundabouts in the city, where cars were merging in and out, often without indicating. It was all a bit chaotic for me, and we actually had to go around the roundabout twice before we were able to exit. Once we got on the highway, it was very comfortable. 4 lanes for the most part. Very straight road, hardly any cars.
So we've left nice and early. It's just before 7:30 a.m. Because it's about a 4 or 5 hour drive there. It's very funny because the GPS here is all in German, so the way that it's pronouncing all of the streets is very interesting.
Weiter auf S1 Kankan Expressway fahren.
Kankan Express. This road would be perfect with no speed limit.
I guess you can take the German out of Germany, but you can't take Germany out of the German. For those of you wondering, the top speed limit for cars on the highway here in China is 120 kilometers per hour.
If you were in Germany right now and you're on the Autobahn, how fast would you be going?
With this car, not so fast.
So we rented this car through an app called 神州出车. This is not an ad, just a resource for any of you who might be interested.
How much did this cost per day?
So this one is 40 something RMB for 1 day.
40 something renminbi. What?
Yeah, it's not even 10 euro.
And our plan is today when we arrive, we're gonna actually hike up Chiangmai Mountain.
If I'm awake by that time.
Yeah, get that coffee. You need to drink your coffee now.
At that exact moment, we saw a sign for a rest stop 2 kilometers away, so we decided it'd be the perfect time to have a little rest and to check out what the China highway stops have to offer. And I have to say, this highway stop was quite the experience. To simply get inside to use the bathroom, we needed to present 2 separate travel health codes as well as a 48-hour COVID test.
It was very complicated to get inside the service station.
And inside, the surprises continued. The entire place was wrapped in plastic.
So there's a whole supermarket kind of here, but it's all behind this plastic screen, and anything you want or need, you have to communicate with her.
Honestly, it was like some kind of plastic inception. Plastic on plastic, inside plastic, on top of plastic.
How is it?
Great. I love this kind of corn, the more chewy corn.
And boy, am I glad that I got that corn. I didn't know it yet, but that'd be the only thing I'd have the chance to eat for the next 10 hours. After a few more hours on the highway and many robotic traffic controllers later, the majestic Chiangmai Shan appeared in the distance. We turned off the highway and started heading towards our hotel.
We've booked a hotel in the Wonder holiday complex. It seems to be like a big area with lots of hotels and some hot springs inside. So that's where we've booked our hotel. So we're gonna go there first, just drop our stuff, and then we're gonna hopefully hike up this mountain. But we saw the mountain on the way here and it's got snow on it. So I don't know whether hiking is going to be an option or not. He has hiking shoes, I don't. So could be interesting, but we're gonna see. It's gonna be fun.
So from what I understand, this Wonder Holiday Complex is built to cater to ski season. So since we're here at the end of October, which is still off season, it's very empty.
So right now, while you're watching this resort is probably already experiencing snow. But right now we are here end of October, so there's currently no snow, but I hear that this is quite a popular place to come for skiing. So right now, I think we're getting like a good price on the hotel because it's not ski season yet.
So I usually do not go for the 5-star hotels, but when I saw that the Sheraton was around 200 Australian dollars, I decided to just go for it. And just as a reference, as I'm here editing this video, it's the 14th of December, I wanted to show you what the price of that exact same hotel is for one night now. And that is 484, can you see that? 484 Australian dollars, so more than twice the price. So yeah, that off-season energy is real. And yeah, the hotel was spookily empty. I legitimately think we were one of maybe 3 or 4 people staying at that hotel.
We made it. Let's go.
And it's about now that everything started to get just a bit stressful.
Lovely room, but we are rushing right out of it because we were just told that we need to start climbing before 12:30, otherwise they're not going to let us through. So we are battling against the clock. We're going to rush over to the west slope and start our ascent.
In my rush to leave this hotel, I don't think I did a very good job of explaining this situation. So when it comes to Cheongbaisan, there are 4 main slopes that you can enter from. So you've got the north slope, the south slope, the east slope, and the west slope. So the south slope is currently closed. It's under maintenance, I believe. The east slope, it belongs to North Korea. So the only 2 slopes that you can enter from are the north slope and the west slope. So which slope should you choose, I hear you asking? Well, if you're not really interested in doing that much walking, the north slope is probably the best option for you because the tourist bus can go almost all the way to the top, and you can basically get out of the bus and see that heavenly lake, the Tianshi, right at the top. Also, the north slope has some more touristy things. From memory, I actually went there once before. There are waterfalls. There are also a lot of natural hot springs there. I remember when I went last time, they were actually putting eggs and corn into those natural hot springs, and they would boil and you can buy one and eat it. The west slope, however, we had heard is a lot less touristy, and that's because it actually involves a hike to get to the top. So that's the option that Dirk and I opted for because we really love hiking and we were really keen for maybe a 2, 3, 4-hour hike to the top. We didn't really know what we were in for, but a hike, yep, sign us up. Anyway, what we only realized when we arrived at the Sheraton, the hotel reception let us know that West Slope ticket office actually stops letting tourists through after 12:30 p.m. So by this stage, rushing out of the hotel, I think it was like a little after 12. So we had not much time at all to get ourselves to the ticket office, buy our tickets, and get ourselves, luckily, just in the nick of time onto the very, very last tourist bus.
So we have made it onto the bus, which is taking us to the foot of Cheongbaisan. And I was a bit confused because I just assumed that we'd be able to like walk from our hotel or even just walk from the ticket office. But we're on a bus that's apparently going to take like half an hour or more. I don't know, a long time because the mountain's like in the distance.
As you can see, it's quite some distance from the ticket office to the mountain itself. Half an hour later, we hadn't even made it to the foothills.
Did you expect it would be such a long ride?
No, I didn't expect. I thought that the resort is right at the foot of the mountain. And you just start walking.
So we didn't know it at the time, but this bus ride would actually last for another hour as we gradually climbed higher and higher in altitude. More and more snow covered the ground. We even swapped buses at some point, a bus more suited for the steep and winding roads of the mountainside.
So we're on to our second bus, and this bus, the scenery is just incredible.
At a certain point, Dirk and I started wondering where this hike we had heard about would actually begin because it seemed like the bus was doing most of the hard work climbing the mountain for us. Eventually, the hiking trail came into view and we couldn't help but giggle because it definitely wasn't the kind of hike Dirk and I were expecting. There's a sign at the bottom. It says 900 meters and 1,442 stairs to the top. Sorry, Dirk, I don't think those hiking boots were really necessary after all, but wow, is it a beautiful path. In fact, the path itself will remind you of that. There are signs telling you to look back and appreciate the view.
Whoa, we are almost at the top. I think as soon as we round this corner, we're going to see that beautiful view that we came here for. Oh my gosh.
So we've officially arrived at Tianshi Heavenly Lake, and it's even more beautiful than I remember it being. Sitting at an altitude of 2,189 meters above sea level and a depth of 373 meters, it's the largest, deepest, and highest alpine lake in China.
And that side there is actually North Korea. And this here is actually a boundary marker, which indicates the border of China. It's just absolutely breathtaking with those mountains and that snow and this lake that's like right on top of this mountain. It's just, there are no words.
The most impressive I've seen in China so far.
Wow.
Landscape-wise. The Great Wall was one of the things I was really impressed by, but this is yeah.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we probably got it at like the best time. There's like hardly anyone here. There's only a few tourists really. And with that snow and that water is so crisp and literally not a cloud in the sky. This is a good omen.
Yeah, it brings. Did you know? It brings luck if you come here for the first time and you see the lake.
I was actually here before and I saw it, and it was also, I could see it. But many people, they come here and they don't see anything. They walk all the way to the top and they just see white because at the altitude, I actually heard that this place is covered with cloud for most of the year. So odds are you will see clouds. Yeah.
I guess we're super duper lucky.
Super duper lucky. You've got twice I've seen it, once you've seen it, 3 amongst us.
So you got twice the luck now.
I have twice the luck, which is great. Always good to have a bit more luck. Well, shall we get back down?
Let's
and
go
try
back.
and get to this hot spring?
Yes.
Because
Oh, I can't wait.
I know, me too.
It's quite freezing here.
Yeah, it is quite freezing.
And so we began the 900-meter hike down, another hour and a half in the bus back to the ticket office, and by the time we'd driven ourselves back to the Wonder Complex, it was already dark. We were also ravenously hungry. The only other thing I had eaten all day was that corn. For Deok, absolutely nothing. So we filled up our bellies with some quality fast food before heading to the hot springs. So because historically this is a volcanic region, the area is absolutely littered with natural hot springs, an absolute must-do thing if you're ever in the area. Our hotel, the Sheraton, didn't have any hot springs, but they actually gave us free tickets to a hot spring hotel just down the road in that Wonder Complex. Only slight problem, and that is that Deok actually forgot to pack a swimsuit, but luckily they had a little swimsuit store on premises. While Deok considered his options, I couldn't help but feel very thankful that I wasn't the one to forget my bathing suit, because the options for ladies here are, how do I put this, not exactly to my taste. So the hot spring is very nicely designed and decorated. They have many hot springs, both indoor and outdoor, but because it's off season, only 3 hot springs in total were actually running. My favorite one was by far this outdoor one, such a vibe. Outdoor hot spring, it's like 0 degrees, but we are in a 41-degree hot spring bath, which is just glorious. But after this hot, cold contrast, on top of a day of driving around and that massive hike, we found ourselves absolutely exhausted. We're in bed watching ping pong on CCTV by 8 p.m. and already asleep by 9. So even though we had already fallen asleep, it turns out the night was not quite over for us yet. So at about 9:30 p.m, we got a call on our hotel telephone. So I dragged myself out of bed, pretty groggy as you can imagine, and I had to ask the receptionist to repeat herself 2 or 3 times until I could process what she was trying to tell me, which was we weren't able to stay there for the night.
It's 9:30 p.m. and we've just received a call from the hotel here in Cheongbaishan that we need to leave because there was a case in our district in Chongchun, and if we stay past 12, they're actually going to quarantine us. So we are packing our things, getting ready for a 5-hour drive. Holy moly, what the F is going on?
And we, at first, were very grateful to the hotel for letting us know, because being quarantined for a few days also wasn't at the top of my to-do list. So we just took it on face value that they were being truthful, and we left, and also didn't try to check in at another hotel nearby because we thought if there's a problem in Chongchun, nowhere else is going to take us. So we just made the drive home. And it was only a few hours into the trip that I decided to check my phone and see what is this COVID situation that they had mentioned. No cases. There was no cases for the entire day that had been reported, no new risk areas, and the existing 2 risk areas were not near or in our district. And I was thinking, okay, maybe there's something the hotel knows that we don't. So I was monitoring the situation over the next few days and, being careful, not going out as much. Nothing. Like, no new cases or anything. So yeah, to this day, I don't really know why they didn't let us stay. I guess the funny thing is this situation is officially now a thing of the past, and I'm probably never going to experience again. So as you may have heard, in the last few weeks, China's dropped many of its COVID restrictions. No more need for COVID tests, no more scanning of health codes, that green arrow travel code that used to monitor which cities you've been to in the last week or so, it doesn't exist anymore. It's been taken down, and I Haven't been to an airport or a train station anytime recently, but I can only imagine how weird it's gonna feel just walking into one. No need to show your 48-hour COVID test and your health codes. I guess also making a restroom stop on the highway here in China is gonna be a lot simpler from now on. But yeah, as you can probably imagine, because of this, everyone is catching COVID right now. Everyone I know in Beijing has it or is recovering from COVID, and here in Changchun, more and more people are getting it. And I actually know that in this building that we live in, already 4 or 5 people have it. So it's really only a matter of time before Dale and I get it. But it's just such a weird feeling because I've never in my life prepared for a cold before. You know, you never really know when you're about to come down with something. It usually just comes up, you're feeling sick. I'm in this situation where I'm, you know, stocking up on medicines, I'm getting myself mentally ready. I've been editing like crazy so that if I get some of those more serious symptoms, I don't have to feel pressured to work for a few days or up to a week. Actually, speaking of symptoms, I feel like today I've been really tired and also a bit achy in the legs. And I honestly don't know if I'm imagining symptoms or if I just didn't get enough REM sleep last night or I worked myself a bit too hard on the yoga mat. But you know, to put my mind at rest, I've decided to actually take my first ever rapid antigen test. My friend just dropped these off for me, bless her. And yeah, let's see. Do I have COVID or am I just a hypochondriac? Oh wow, feel a little starstruck. I've seen so many of these on my Instagram.
Oh, it's so weird putting it in your own nose.
Wait 15 minutes. Yeah, just one line there. So I guess that means I'm negative and that means I've just been imagining all these symptoms in my head, which is always fun. And yeah, thanks guys for coming and watching this video. I'm sending out happy, healing, healthy, positive vibes to wherever you're watching this from in the world. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye guys.